Hi viewers, welcome to Majesty Christian Television Network. My name is Apostle Helen Dorkin, coming to you on the waves of this channel. So, I hope all is well with you and you are keeping the social distance as we've been instructed in this COVID-19 time. We have this special broadcast and we hope you will join us wherever you are and ask questions through the Facebook. We are going to read them out. If you have time also, you can call into the studio line, which is 020 3374 160. Okay? Join us as we discuss this interesting topic. Our topic today is COVID-19, living under a global pandemic. So the coronavirus, or COVID-19, is a global pandemic which the whole world is grappling with since the beginning of this year. So it has brought with it lots of disruption and changes to our normal way of living, schooling, shopping, attending churches, and we've been focused on shutdown. So how far and for how long this will go is people's guessing now. So in the meanwhile, we are all being compelled to adjust our lifestyles and to just keep living. So in this discussion, we will be exploring with our guests their perspectives on how the pandemic has come to affect every aspect of our personal lives. We encourage you to join us now and call in when it's necessary, or send in your own questions or your experience, and then we're gonna read them out. So our guests this afternoon are two gentlemen. So they happen to be from the from the science or the scientific point of or scientific world. So we have the social scientists and we have the political scientists. So permit me to introduce you to Mr. Onyeka Okeke, who is a political scientist. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And then we also have Mr. Richard Dodoo, who is a social scientist. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So we hope that you will enjoy this broadcast and join us. Thank you. So, gentlemen, about COVID-19, I do not know how you all have been coping up, but for me, it has been very, very difficult. You know, seeing you now, you came to the studio. Normally I will just embrace you and we laugh and we chat, and today it's totally different. You see, so I don't know how long we're gonna go with this way of life.
Right.
So what do you know about this COVID-19? Any of you can take it on.
I think let our political scientist take over, because I like to pick on a little bit. So.
How has it been affecting you? What do you know about COVID-19 or coronavirus? And how has it been affecting the people around you?
Thank you very much for the nice and wonderful question. The COVID-19 is just a reality we woke up to all of a sudden. Because if we throw our minds back, the whole of last year, nothing of this nature was in the news, was in the experience of people. It was not in total existence. Not until early this year that the rumors started flying in the air. People are dying in China of a strange sickness and stuff. There's a whistleblower doctor who said something like SARS is killing people in drones and stuff like that.
Yes.
That is when the news came to the awareness of people across the world.
Yeah.
And like joke, the thing blew
out of proportion.
And till this day, there is no corner of the world that has not felt the impact of the COVID-19.
Yes.
So personally, it has affected me in so many countless number of ways, Because, of which I don't really know where to start from. Even as I'm sitting here now, I am still under the effect of the COVID-19. As you can see, the distance between us.
Yeah.
We couldn't shake hands when we came in.
Yes.
No hug.
No.
No nothing. I said, and a matter of fact, we could have had a mask on while we were talking in this studio.
Yeah.
So that the things that the coronavirus brought with it, in addition to a whole lot of things across the world that is happening. If you go to Schiphol Airport now, you can see all the aircraft nicely parked. You hardly see any sound of a jet engine in the sky anymore. Our sky that used to be, so crowded. So people have lost jobs. People are dying in thousands, and a whole lot of things that came with it.
Yes.
Both on the economic front, on the social front, on the health front, all areas of human existence. This virus has really, practically brought the whole world to its knees.
Exactly.
And it is it's a thing of serious concern.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Richard. Tell us what you know, and in your environment, what is happening.
Okay, first of all, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think COVID-19, based on what we all have come to learn about, is supposed to be a bug or a virus that has become the enemy of our current civilization as we know it.
Yes.
And it's literally shifting us into sectors where I think we ought to be careful not to tip off or fall into the extreme. Before I go into that, indeed, it has affected all of us. We've all listened to various news bulletins here and there. We've come to, research a few things to ensure that what we are hearing is actually what it is.
Okay.
There are so many angles to this virus, and indeed, one major thing that I think is a good thing is the fact that it has brought us a level of awareness, because our social existence was becoming a bit clustered, where we no longer cared if someone next to you is coughing or not coughing, or if someone next to you is sneezing or not sneezing. So these type of things were sectors we were going into, which obviously is a bit dangerous if you think about it, because we were not conscious of these things. If I'm in a supermarket and someone coughs or sneezes, I don't give a monkey. I just walk past the person.
Yeah.
Now I'm conscious about it because I don't know what he or she has left in that space.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a good awareness for humanity, because health-wise, it makes you more conscious about your own health.
Okay.
So that is a good thing. We can look at it in various lenses. But I always say one thing. The moment something draws your attention, and in this case, I think we've all lived on earth enough to know that we've never faced, quote-unquote, a pandemic before.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have one.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself, hasn't life in itself been a pandemic to all of us? I mean, if you really...
It has been, but it has never terrorized us to this level.
Well,
where we are hearing about death in thousands.
Yeah.
It has never been.
Okay.
God.
You see, I like the fact that you said it has never been.
Yeah.
Because what you're actually saying is that you haven't become aware of the fact that people are dying elsewhere in their thousands.
But not in this way, because the world has not been reporting this sort of death.
The world will not report this sort of death because, quite frankly, it wasn't staring them in the face like COVID-19 is staring them in the face. I mean, thousands died in Ethiopia. Many are dying in Yemen. If you go to the Palestine area, people are dying on a daily basis and so on. All of these things, we've closed, eyes to it. WHO is aware of all of these things. The UN is aware of all of these things. But Western media or mainstream media is not putting any of these things out there. And to even top it up, I would say, even in the midst of COVID-19, if you watch what is happening in China to fellow black men and women,
yes,
and the world media or mainstream media is also not highlighting any of these things. So you ask yourself, why are they highlighting COVID-19 the way they are?
Yes.
And not dealing with these other issues? So you would then go into that critical frame of mind where you say, could there be other things that are happening that we are not aware of? So I'll leave it for now. I would say COVID-19 has actually opened my eyes in many, many ways than one. I'm looking at life through a whole different set of lenses. And I hope that people outside or around the world will also be able to look at life through these various lenses and understand that it's not because they say jump, so you start jumping without asking questions.
Yes.
And not because they say stay at home, you're going to stay at home and just be a puppy. No. Ask yourself the questions. And when you do that research, a lot of different awarenesses will come to you, and then you can advise yourself and live a very normal and healthy life.
Yeah.
Well, because some of the what are some of the rumors we've heard about this origin of this COVID-19? Because they said it started in Wuhan, in China,
yeah, that's correct.
and then with bat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So people were eating bat meat
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
And the thing used to be with animals,
Right.
and it now grew to the point that it adopted
human. It crossed from animal to human. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we heard.
Yeah.
But is that still the whole thing?
I think I can talk for myself. Yeah. Personally, I don't buy that line of thought. I just don't buy that line.
Because China eats everything.
I would say that for centuries, they've always had bats. For centuries.
Yeah, of
Even
course.
when you come to Africa, Black Africa for that matter, there are so many other tribes in Black Africa that also eat what? Bats. In Ghana, I know of a tribe that also does eat bats.
Yeah, but
So,
even
hold
bat,
on.
even no. Let's come on. Even bat as a bird, it's not very common. It's not really very, very common as to say you are seeing bats everywhere. It's not really very common as to say people are eating it and they eat it and they are satisfied.
No, but you see, what you're forgetting to understand is that they want you and me, and perhaps the viewers out there, to believe that this was in a bat, and some Chinese man or woman ate it, and therefore that Chinese man or woman started showing these symptoms, and then started coughing, and then pass it on to the next person to the next, and so on and so forth. That's what they want you and I to believe.
No, but the whole thing comes like a flu. Not only coughing, it comes like it has the symptoms of a flu, the normal flu that people have been having.
Yeah,
only
exactly.
that now it intensifies into fever, and then from fever, then it begins to affect the chest,
It goes
and
into
then
shortness of breath,
and then shortage of breath, and then that's it.
I'm smiling because I'm only saying.
Tell us what you know, because you seem to know a lot.
I'm smiling because I have a strong feeling that most of what you've said is purely based on what you've also been fed with.
We've been fed with the whole thing.
No. I mean, personally, I've also been fed
a lot
with
through the internet and all of those things.
I have also been fed with a lot of this data. Okay, like everybody out there. But you see, there's one thing being fed, and there's this other thing of understanding what you're being fed with. So
Okay,
that's the
but
part
But the question is, how does this virus originate in our own understanding?
Yes.
Notwithstanding all the conspiracy theory that has gone around the origin of the.
Well, if you ask me a direct question that how did this come about, I can give you two answers. There are two schools of thoughts which is being, I would say, put out there by our scientific bodies around the globe, right? There's a school of thought that talks about 5G.
Yeah.
And it
The
talks about
5G
the fact
side.
that 5G literally created this because of our human reaction towards that radiation.
The radiation, yeah.
Okay, so that's one school of thought. And then there's this other school of thought that talks about the fact that the bug was actually used in military circles. And they were trying to understand how the bug would actually work should there be a warfare. Okay, and someone decided to literally release it in China, which has been the Chinese position on this, that the American soldiers basically are responsible for this. And then we have Donald Trump also fighting back and trying to rubbish that line of thought. So there are these two, I would say, intellectual parts that we all need to look at.
Yeah.
We as, I would say the ordinary people out there in the street. But if you're not looking at it critically, you would miss out on what you should actually be seeing. So I'm not buying the bat story, but that is just me. I'm not buying the bat story because I know that for centuries, Chinese people have eaten all these things.
All right, let's hold on. I think we some callers. Those of you who are watching us, you want to call into the studio line, please feel free and give us a call now on 020-3374 160. Call us, please. We're waiting for your call. Yes.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. I mean, we all have the right to believe what we want to believe. So personally, I'm not for the bat thing. And I don't think, knowing what I know, I would actually sit down and be fed with that type of information and then run out there and talk about it. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I'm still looking forward to the whole world getting the authoritative and scientific information as to how this thing came up. There have been countless conspiracy theories around it.
Yes.
What you said about Bath is one of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. The 5G side is also one of them.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. There's also another side that says, okay, there has been a research in one of the labs in China regarding biological warfare.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one of the researchers suddenly, mistakenly, came to the larger society with the virus in his body, and from there it spread. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's also another theory that has it that this is another level of the trade war between America and China.
Yeah. Yes.
So China decided to take the trade war to another level. Mm-hmm. Throw this thing out so that the whole world economy will come to
their
what
knees.
it is now.
This is a biological weapon.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So before we form a consensus, I'm still holding myself from pinning my thought to one of these theories until the authorities have researched and then come up with, okay, this is what happened, and then tell us who is to be held responsible for this. Because personally, I know there's a foul play somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
There's a foul play somewhere. Notwithstanding the news that we are being fed on daily basis.
Right.
This virus doesn't just pop up.
No.
Pop up
And
from
what
a thing
is
and just
surprising
like that.
is the way it has spread, and also the way every one of them, all the presidents, they are like, the thing have bound them together, united all the whole country together. All of a sudden, I'm just seeing some kind oneness in the whole world. The whole world. So, and every one of them is just speaking as if they are still expecting it to linger till next year.
Talking about the second wave of the virus.
Exactly.
Before the
and then you go about wondering, what is this that they know, and they hid it to themselves, and they are not bringing it very open. And why is it not attacking them?
That,
if they know something about it, and then they are just marketing it in they just say biche, little, then it has to affect them, because you cannot be giving us this sort of information. You know how people feel watching CNN or BBC or Al Jazeera telling us 19,000 died. 18,000 died.
In a day, almost 1,000 people died.
Yes, so died. The figure is 200,000 now, whatever thousand they say in America. Hey, I'm shaking. I say,
it's scary.
I will tell my husband, what is this? Hey, why is this affecting us this way? Okay. You can't trust anybody anymore.
I like that last statement you made. You can't trust anybody anymore. And I like it because my trust for mainstream media is actually kind of lowered its rating, because I don't per se buy anything they put out there. I don't. And they can blame me for not believing them, or they can say they don't even care whether I believe them or not. But bottom line is that lives are at stake. So the type of information you put out there is what can affect or affect whoever is out there. So I'm trying to put myself in a position where I would want to hold mainstream responsible for actually putting the correct data so that everybody can be well informed enough so we can all use our own common sense to secure our own health issues. But if you are not doing that, then you're basically also leaving me hanging in limbo, because I don't know if this is right or this is wrong.
Yeah,
Do you get it?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you leave the choice to me to figure out what is right and what is wrong, when in fact you've known it all along. So mainstream media should be held responsible for a lot of lapses that we are seeing in this pandemic.
Are you talking about holding responsible regarding the statistics they put out?
Yes.
Or
yes.
The statistics.
The statistics and listen, we've come to understand that even the test that they made, there were so many mistakes in there. So many mistakes. In other words, people who didn't have it, they said they had it, and so on and so forth. So these things you should tell us about it. Then we understand that if I go and get tested, and for whatever reason somebody says I have it, I have what it takes to say no, I don't have it, and go for a second or third opinion. That is keeping me informed. Then I'm also using my common sense to understand that not because you said I have it, then I immediately have to, kind of sink into that line of thought and accept anything you want to give me.
Yeah, what I have to say.
Yeah, but we don't have enough. We
that,
don't have the facility to test all of those things.
Yeah,
For people to
exactly.
be having the
Because
individual tests and all of those
you
things.
see, hold on.
You know?
Hold on. If any Western health facility wants to test this, they have what it takes to do that.
Remember, it's a new virus.
No, we all understand it's a new
Remember,
virus.
I mean, for
No,
people to
hold
be
on.
testing it
We all know it's a new virus.
Yes.
We
It's a
all
new
understand
virus.
it is a
Yeah.
new virus. Okay.
And then the science world is still staggering to find its stand regarding this virus. In terms of the cure,
Right.
Yes.
the test apparatus, how it should be tested,
So,
the treatment.
so let me ask you this question. If we want to go by what you're saying, then how do they come and tell us that they've tested 2 million people?
Yeah.
Help me understand. That would in itself make you start thinking critically to say, whoa, that could be a lie.
Well,
Do you get my point? You just said, and I'm going by what you're saying, that it's a new virus, which I agree with.
yeah.
Okay? So if a country comes out and say, we've tested 4,000 people, right? Do you then believe it?
They cannot lie about it.
No,
the people who
because
are
they have the
tested-
instrument.
Because
So if
people who
so-
are tested,
No, yes.
the people
So
who are
if-
tested
if-
know that they are being tested.
Hold
Like in
on,
America,
hold
they
on,
test
hold on.
like 100,000 people on a daily basis.
If they
cannot
know-
come and say we tested more than the number we're putting out.
you're not sticking to the core issue here. The core issue here is the fact that I made a statement. The statement was very simple. I said, if mainstream media is giving us the right information, it would empower us to also do what is right. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Then your feedback was that I should remember that it is a new virus.
Yes.
Which means that a lot of countries or a lot of health systems don't have the right equipment to test them.
Because you said somebody who
Let's-
don't have it might be tested and it may be confirmed that the person has it.
No. I said we've come to understand that they have tested people positive when in fact those people were negative.
How?
Don't ask me.
Yeah, it is.
But
it is,
it's out there.
You can approach it from a common sense point of view. Look at the symptoms of the virus: fever, headache, pain all over
Sore
the body,
throat.
sore throat,
Yes.
and then difficulty in breathing.
Yes.
All these are attributes of a common cold or pneumonia. But then the bottom line, the strongest hold of the COVID-19 is that difficulty in breathing that chokes the whole.
It freezes your lungs.
Respiratory tract.
Right.
But the other variables, the other symptoms of flu or common cold are there,
Right.
which means the test kit may pick up the signals of
a common flu. Right.
and then the person behind the test can say, okay, it is COVID.
Right.
That can happen.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the media is feeding us bull crap, so to say. Because
No.
there's no how the media can come up with the data.
You are not. I think I understand where you're coming from, but obviously you're not seeing what it is that perhaps I need you to see, or maybe I'm not being able to also
Communicate
it.
to a level-
I
to
understand
communicate it.
what you mean.
Everyone
There's
understands
no doubting the fact that the figures or the statistics might be wrong,
Right.
in the sense that in actual sense people with COVID-19 might be 1 million, but based on the faulty checks or tests, it might be elevated to 2 million.
Correct.
But that still doesn't take away the fact that COVID-19 is a reality.
Correct.
It is there.
Correct.
Before our very eyes, we are seeing people dying on daily basis.
No,
Yes.
no, hold on. Now that's third-hand data you're putting out there.
Which one is
You
that?
said we are seeing with our own eyes.
Personally, I have seen.
Hold on. How many people did you see die?
Okay. I'll give you an example.
No.
My-
Just give me a figure. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
My cousin is a nurse in England. He has a master's degree in nursing. He's a manager where he works. 5 people he has managed
Yes.
died from this COVID-19.
Can you imagine?
4 Yorubas and 2 Igbos.
Oh,
Last week, my very colleague at work his uncle, the junior brother to his mother,
Yes.
died from
COVID.
the virus in England. You know,
Yeah.
so all this, it is
You
not.
see,
It
your statement, and again, I like to stick to facts.
Yeah.
Your statement literally said before your very own eyes, you've seen people.
No, these are
But-
people he knows.
No, no, hold
if I
on,
open
hold
my
on,
phones,
hold on,
people
hold on,
who I
hold
know,
on, hold
you
on,
know
hold on.
the guy who lived here before he moved to Scotland.
Yes.
Hold
You know,
on.
the thing got him down. He died. His mother is from my town.
Listen.
So there's no doubt in
I'm
it.
not saying that people you know have not been affected, because personally, I can also give you one instance,
Yeah.
but it is not something I witnessed. It was something that my daughter witnessed.
Yeah.
She was at work with a colleague. The colleague just fainted and couldn't breathe, and they came and they took the lady, and she was tested, and indeed the lady had the COVID.
Yeah.
So my daughter and a few people that were in the team had to self-quarantine themselves for 2 weeks. Okay, so what you're saying is me saying what I've just said.
Yeah.
Myself, I haven't seen it. I'm believing what my daughter went through because I believe what my daughter told me, which is the same thing you just illustrated. You're also believing what your friend who is a doctor in the UK also told you. So these are ways to communicate.
Somebody I know have died from it.
But,
Yes, yes.
but we should understand that in propagating the information, we should package it in a way that people can understand that we ourselves, as we sit down here, we haven't actually, per se, seen somebody go through the symptoms and die.
But that
Do you get
doesn't
me?
mean that it is not happening.
No, we don't.
No,
We're not saying that it's not happening.
I
So
don't want us to
you
digress. I don't want us
understand.
to, create doubt in the mind of our viewers.
No,
that
we shouldn't.
This pandemic is a child's play. It's
No,
not
no,
a child's
No,
play.
it's not.
real.
It
And
is
I
not.
wouldn't want any statement to that effect that
No.
that we're being deceived by the media because of that. We shouldn't take it
No,
serious.
serious.
It's
It
a
is
very
serious.
serious problem,
Yes.
and nobody knows when it's going to come to an end.
I'll beg to differ, and I'll beg to differ because, again, I'm not a mainstream media kind of person anymore. I used to buy anything and everything they put out there. I used to eat it without even talking.
Okay, what do they gain when they are giving us false information?
Exactly.
Again,
Are they selling something?
I'm not going to be able to give you the answer you are expecting to hear.
No.
But what I'm going to say to you is that if and when you hear something, believe you me, look for other resources for
Yes,
information.
of course.
Start doing that.
Yeah,
when you
we
start
do.
when you start doing that, you will be amazed as to what you would find.
Hmm.
There's a movie out there called Walk the Dog. I would say try and watch it. Try and watch it if you can. Walk the Dog. If you're able to watch Walk the Dog, you would understand what mainstream media is all about. Seriously. And some of the things will
Walk the Dog?
Walk the Dog, yeah.
Walk the dog.
Will actually amaze you, you know. But yes, granted, that's why they are there. They are there to shift opinions, to shift our views, to shift the way we do things. That's why they are there. But it does not mean that just because they are out there to do that to you, you should sit down and allow yourself to be dealt with. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that as human beings, be aware of things and don't just take things just because you're being fed with it. That's all I'm saying.
Fine.
No,
If,
so but-
if I'm going to
So-
say something about, regarding what you just said, okay, mainstream media, every day we are being confronted with the news happenings, what's happening about the coronavirus and whatever, but there has never been an expert opinion against what is going on in the media.
Exactly.
That is where
And
you're wrong.
everyone
That's-
that have ever-
I will not let you. I'll
Let
hijack
me
you on
finish.
that one because you're wrong. You are so wrong.
I don't think I'm wrong.
No, you are wrong because you don't listen to the other channels. That's where you're wrong. You see, when you talk about listening to media, you're talking CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, and you think these are all mainstream. Mainstream. There are alternative news out there.
I
We
listen-
know what they're saying. We need to know what
Exactly,
Wait,
because
wait.
I listen to. I am
Because
very
if you have
open-minded
knowledge
in
and it's
terms
only
of where I get my information.
Right.
I never come across a medical scientist
Right.
or whoever that has come out to refute what is happening.
No,
the
no,
news
no.
we're getting about the coronavirus.
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
There's a
And what does he say?
Listen, there's a gentleman who is very well known around the world. His name is, hold on, I'm gonna.
the first year, whatever you were talking about.
I think I already made mention. Dr. Shiva. Dr. Shiva. He's part
from
of the
where?
CDC in the US. He's a PhD holder from what's this? MIT. MIT in
Yeah,
the US.
Massachusetts.
Correct. And he's a virologist as well. Now, he documented everything. And he's the one who came out to tell the masses in the US that do not buy into just about everything that Dr. Fauci is putting out there and the mainstream media is pushing it out there. But Dr. Fauci, in his words, and I quote him as is a fraud. Okay? And then he went down to document and give the facts of COVID-19 and the people that stand to benefit behind it.
Okay.
Okay?
But
Now,
that
this
COVID-19
information.
is not in existence.
No,
Hold on.
Okay.
He has done his research. People in America that don't follow CNN, like the way people outside America follow CNN, are getting that news outlets from different channels. Fox News, for example, is another area where you can get CNBC is another area where you can get information. Now, these people are putting out the alternative news out there, which, and I use the word alternative lightly, because it is news that we are not being told. And that's why I use the word alternative news. We're not being told these things. We're not being, the other experts on the field are not being listened to, because the fanfare of I would say, Western media or the mainstream media are taking over everything. They're taking over your mind. They're taking over my mind. And those that allow it to happen, they flow with it.
I would like to let me sorry to interrupt you.
That's all right.
I would like you to streamline your disagreement of what is happening in mainstream media regarding this virus that is existing.
It's
now.
not.
Let me
Okay.
make myself clear.
Okay.
Okay. Your disagreement is it in terms of the reality of the virus, or in terms of the origin of the virus, or in terms of how many people that are affected by the virus, so that our viewers can understand.
I hear you loud and clear.
You are bone of contention.
I hear you.
With the,
I hear
with
you.
the mainstream media.
I hear
is
you.
it in terms of the origin? Is it in terms of the effect out there? Or is it in terms of the statistics regarding the number of people who have died, the number that have tested positive, and things like that?
Okay.
So that there won't be a doubt thrown over this issue in the mind of people as to whether
Okay, first of all,
whether COVID-19 is out there.
oh, first of all, COVID-19 is out there.
Sure.
That's granted. Let's just not beat around the bush about it. It is out there. Now, its origins are still questionable.
Okay.
There's one way of looking at it, and there's that way where mainstream media wants you and I to believe is that the way it came about.
I share that view with you.
Thank you. So at least we agree on that. And then the second key point is that the number of people that have died or are dying from COVID-19, to be honest with you, mainstream media, I have a strong feeling, are really not giving us the real facts. Okay, so that is where my own bone of contention is.
Okay.
And then thirdly was perhaps how we should go about it as a people.
Yes.
Okay, because how it's being presented to us, and the way fear was thrown onto the table, where 10 million die here, 1 million die here, 9 million, and
Yes.
that is basically to create fear. That message of fear was taken in by every country on the planet.
But let me ask you one question.
Okay.
Do you
So
think...
what do they gain by creating fear?
Exactly.
Because they don't want it to transport itself from place to place in the numbers in which they felt it could go. So if you put the fear, and Donald Trump says to
you
you,
believe in the 5G conspiracy theory that because they are pushing 5G, that is why.
I think that school of thought of 5G having its radiational effect on humanity is real, and I don't think we should belittle it. So yes, my school of thought falls more along those lines.
Okay, that's clear.
That's where I stand. Okay?
Okay.
I stand there because I know when I read into the facts, I realized that if you look at the microwave, the radiation the microwave gives is 0.5%.
Yeah.
Now, 5G is giving us radiation of 60 megahertz. Think about it, 60. That is a lot. A few years ago, when the world discovered X-ray machines to X-ray a human being, they realized the effects of that. And when that was introduced into the world, there was supposedly a pandemic, if I can use the word lightly here. And humanity had to fight it. Now we are going into an area where we are trying to increase 5G and setting it up in various places, and people are not, being healthy if they have these things around them. So why is the economic world, as in why are governments not being able to also address these issues? If you pay attention to it, every government on the earth has decided not to talk about this.
About 5G.
Yes. No government is talking about it. Let's face it. Because the benefits of it is more important to them than anything else.
There has to be sacrifices made
Thank you.
for advancement of science.
Thank you.
Okay, fine
Thank
and
you.
good. But how is it that even places where you don't have the 5G satellites, people are still dying in drones?
Thank you.
In Europe here, it is only the UK and probably Italy that have tested the 5G.
Good.
I work for Huawei.
Okay.
So I know how far ahead Huawei is
Right.
in the race for 5G regarding every other company.
And they are very, very far.
They are very far.
Very, very
so
far.
UK have tested it, Italy have tested it,
Right.
and then we have these cases there. What about other countries who have not installed the 5G satellite? People are still dying.
Okay. Okay, that's a very legit and good question. And I'm saying legit and good in the sense that ultimately, if radiation happens, right, there are very I would say, key geographical points where this type of radiation can affect people. Okay? And if you look at what is happening, in Italy, it happened where? In the north.
Northern part of Italy, yeah.
Where there are what? A lot of mountains. Now, if you want to look at the reasonings behind the health issues in that area, you can come up with so many different things. I listened to Dr. Shiva, and I said to myself, this is so interesting that Western media is actually not addressing some of these things. I listened to him. I listened to 3 other experts on the field of health, 2 of whom are working for the CDC in the US. And I'm like, why aren't people actually being made to hear these things? And why should we be hearing it from channels that are not in the mainstream channels, so to speak? Why is CNN not calling this person and having a talk with this person? Why is Al Jazeera not talking to this person? Why is BBC not talking to this person? And so on and so forth. And these are legit questions that we should all be asking.
Yes.
Because our humanity is at stake. So if 1, 2, 3, or even 10 people have solutions and answers, let's all listen to what they have. At the end of the day, it's to the greater good of all of us.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
But why are these people being hushed? And some of them even feel that their lives are being threatened. Do you get my point?
Yes.
What is it they know? I mean, this man in China who supposedly is a whistleblower on this,
Yeah.
look at the way they handled him.
Exactly.
And in the end, he passed on.
Exactly.
Okay, what information did he have that
can make
that
them
humanity should have
to
known?
waste him
I
that
have
way.
a question. So how is it that these people who want the benefit of 5G,
You're right.
and yet 5G is here killing people?
Mm-hmm.
So how are they going to exempt themselves from the radiation effects of 5G?
Exactly.
Well,
How are they gonna exempt
case
themselves?
in point is-
well, I think that what you should also understand is that world bodies have come to understand that if we turn it all on to the 60 or 120 or whatever it is, these are the reactions we're going to get. So we need to tone it down. That is an angle that I think other experts are also looking at.
Okay, okay, I have to come in now.
Okay.
Regarding
This is
the
unbelievable.
5G theory and then the so-called solidarity amongst heads of states
Yeah.
Right.
across the world.
Yeah.
If that is true, what about the version of somebody like Bill Gates with his push for vaccine?
Vaccine, yes.
If 5G is actually the root cause of this virus, how then are we going to be protected from it by a vaccine?
Okay.
Something that is being caused by a radiation from the 5G mass or satellites.
Right.
How can vaccine take care of it?
But let me ask you a very simple question, and then maybe that's something you haven't thought about. What if, and I use the what if very likely here, what if Bill Gates is actually a shareholder of Huawei? What if?
It's possible.
Is a shareholder of where?
Of Huawei?
Yeah, it's true.
What if? No, I'm just-
his company works with Huawei. They work together.
Here we go. You see,
He provides Android. He provides
I love
Android
this.
for Huawei.
I love
so
this.
that's not.
I love this. But you see, because
So
he's
it's
a shareholder.
just politics that is manifesting
No,
in
there's a
all
lot
of
of things.
this.
There's a lot of things that are manifesting all of. It's a power control.
Power control.
It's a power control.
Well, those who are listening to this broadcast, we are discussing on living under a global pandemic. You may give us a call on the studio line, which is 020-3374-160. Or if you are watching us on Facebook, please remember you can send in your report or your question, and then we can read it out, please.
Okay. So I think you
So
you
where
just
are all of these things going to? Where are they heading to?
We are heading
if
to.
it's about control,
Listen, we
it's
are heading.
about politics.
We're
it's about money.
We're heading to a new world order.
Thank you. That's what it is. We are heading to a position where one person or a group of people
Want to control the world.
Yes, will have
Because they have the money.
will have patent rights to certain things.
Hey.
Now, if the whole world chooses to vaccinate everybody, and right now you want to travel to Nigeria or I want to go to Ghana, and then before I buy my ticket, they ask me, have you taken your shot? If you haven't taken your shot, we will not let you fly. They are now putting you in a position where you would have to do what? To go and take whatever shot it is before they allow you to fly.
And what is the shot?
There we go. This is the vaccine he was talking about.
Jesus.
And you don't know the chemical component. The component of
Thank
that-
you.
of that
You see, now we are thinking.
Component.
Yeah,
Now we are thinking. Now we are thinking.
dimension to the conspiracy theory.
Thank you.
The
Thank
version
you.
of the Antichrist.
Thank you.
Somebody came up with the view that some Antichrist the world over
Yes.
wants to reduce the population of the world.
Yeah.
And this is one
What
of the
the-
means with which they want to take control.
Yeah. Yes.
Throw the whole world into panic.
Yeah.
Achieve their aim.
Yeah.
And then get
What they want.
what they want.
Yeah.
I do not want to look at it from an
This is
antichrist
something
kind of position, but I've heard that, and I know people out there have that line of
And
thought.
like my type, I like to travel. I travel a lot with my husband.
Okay.
So if it becomes very necessary for us to take the
You will.
vaccine,
The
You
vaccine.
will.
why would I take something I don't know where?
But that's the
then
thing.
It means one will begin to cancel some of the appointments.
No, you see, look, listen, mainstream media is also missing one key point. In America, there are so many states that are protesting this, but they're not talking about it. There's so many citizens in the U.S., in various states across the U.S., that are out there and are not respecting anything called lockdown. It's out there. And they are tooting their horns and they're on the streets, they have their placards, they're demonstrating. Now, mainstream media is not talking about this because they know that if they do that, then other nations, people will see, there are people like us who don't believe, and they will also take to it.
CNN show
So-
them. I see them on CNN.
Okay, so these are some of the things we need to understand. Then comes the other flip side of it, which is recovery. Recovery. People who are recovering from COVID-19. The mainstream media is also not tooting that horn well enough. So what they are tooting is the dead, giving you the numbers, and they're not giving you the people who are, it's just a common thing, and they do this and they do this and they're okay, and they're, they're not dealing with that.
No, they're not telling us that.
Then mainstream went into another angle where they try to make us believe that black people are more prone to these type of things. And the black people in the US are the ones who are, and then Chinese people start also maltreating black people and so on.
Exactly.
So, listen, the agenda is bigger than me. I understand that.
No, there's an agenda.
Thank
There's
you.
an agenda.
Thank you.
That
It's
one-
bigger than
that-
me.
that one
I
cannot
understand
dispute.
that.
There's an agenda.
But I think what I want people to take away from all of this is that be mindful of what mainstream media or other media for that matter
but
is putting out there.
How come we
Let's-
all are living in the same place and the thing is now affecting more of the blacks?
That is the question you have to ask yourself. That why are they projecting the fact that more black people are dying than white people? Why would you even come up with that? Human beings are dying, period.
That's the period.
Do you get my point? Human beings are dying, period.
Jesus.
But why sideline it and then draw the lines to the fact that more black people are dying? So then if a white person sees a black man, then the white person is going to think like, whoa, you might have it, Do you get what I mean?
Oh, really?
It's a different level that we should all fight against. I think we should push against these type of things.
But initially, the news came up that the virus doesn't affect black people as it affects the whites.
Yeah,
So
that's what we had
so you're saying that
That's what we
so
heard.
good.
I heard that too.
Okay.
I heard that too.
Okay, so if I take that line of thought, it means that they had it to, and now they're saying no, let's shift it and give it back to the black people. Technically, that's what that's happening then. You get it.
But there's an explanation to the fact that more black people are dying.
What is the explanation?
Especially in the US and
And
UK.
UK, yes.
What is the
Because-
explanation?
Because it is the black man or woman that wakes up early in the morning, go out there, killing here and there, do this, and then in
I'm-
the
I'm-
health sector.
I'm not
in-
buying that.
in-
Yeah,
no,
exactly. I'm not buying that
in
neither.
the health
Yes,
sector.
Yeah,
uh,
no,
uh,
but I hear you. I hear you.
What
Don't get me
happens
wrong.
in
I
the
hear
health
you.
sector?
In the health sector,
A lot
what
of black
happens?
people
most
work
of the
there.
people who work in the Zorro,
Are black people, basically, what
clean
you
up,
say.
clean up,
Because
clean
they're
up patients.
Yeah,
do
exactly.
this, do that,
Exactly.
do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, it's not about that. I am driving towards the fact that black people are more exposed to the people,
You see?
to the patients who have the COVID-19.
I would say,
Like, for example, here in Maryland.
stigma, and that's what we have to get
exactly. This
Bring
is
the
this,
stigma.
this is exactly what I'm trying to rubbish out there, so that stigma doesn't stick.
Yes.
Do you get it? It shouldn't stick. And then comes
This is terrible.
the funny part.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to you earlier on about it. The funny part. The funny part has to do with the fact that we have pilots out there.
Yeah.
They fly around the world,
All over the world.
and they see strange things out there. A few pilots have the guts to talk about some of these things.
In the sky.
Good, in the sky. So, what if? What if? Part of what it is they've seen some. They call it UFOs and things they can't explain and whatever. What if we have had an alien visitation? Remember when I started saying this, I said this could be the fun part. So what if some aliens have finally gotten into our civilization?
And visitors to virus.
Thank you. And basically, they are contaminated, and therefore people who come across them get infected. Therefore, stay at home. When you stay at home, it gives the authorities what it is to see where the aliens are to capture them. You see the fun part of it. I told you.
When we are staying at home, who will be doing our job?
No, when we are staying at
The
home,
economic aspect of this whole thing, we've not even discussed it.
we haven't gone there yet.
No,
we haven't gone there. I know, but I
Many
started
people
off by
have lost their
saying
jobs,
this
so
is the fun
people
part of
have
it.
lost their
Okay.
jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Thousands.
People are losing their jobs now.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've not
That's true.
discussed about that side.
But staying at home,
Yeah, why must we stay at home? For how long?
that's the thing. Why suddenly everybody should go inside and close the door?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, to avoid spread of the.
Yeah, but
of
if
the
you have it,
disease.
you're then infecting the people in your house, right?
Okay, if
They're not coming out.
Yeah, but
if
my
I have
point.
it,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they're not coming out.
No, but
if
again,
I have
Infect the
it,
people around.
if I have it, I'm limited within my household. I have cut the chances of giving it to thousands of people to, to the barest minimum.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
If you don't have contact with somebody who have it, you cannot infect that person.
True.
So
that's what they've made us believe. So let's also be
there
clear.
is a logical explanation, towards that.
I know,
you
because
So-
if you look at epidemiology, for example, and you look at viruses, it talks about the fact that to contain it actually is what they're doing now.
Yeah,
Is-
so that- yeah.
So I understand
Yeah.
that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm only saying that if indeed some aliens are with us at the moment, if we're staying home, they can figure out who they are and pick them up because they don't have houses.
No,
And they're invisible too.
No, I mean, in the midst of all this seriousness, in the midst of all this, in the midst of all this seriousness, we have to find some humor,
Yeah,
and basically that's what I'm trying to do.
This whole thing is terrific.
Let's do
It's
economics.
mind-blowing.
Let's do economics,
Yes.
and let's restrict it to the Netherlands.
Okay.
Other countries have tried to reach out to workers. In the U.S., for example, I think the U.S. government is doing a marvelous job. They're sending checks or giving money to people who were not able to earn money, so that they can have money to eat and so on and so
I
forth.
mean, how long will they be giving that to
I know,
people?
I know. I mean, in my own country, Ghana, when they did the lockdown, the government said don't pay water bill, don't pay electricity bill, whether that counts for anything. But that's their approach
What
of
did they
doing
do for
it.
us in Nigeria, please?
I don't know what they did for
they
Nigeria.
took out 20 naira out of liter price of petroleum
Petrol.
product. Yeah.
Okay, so they reduced something. So that was
20 naira.
20 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was something.
Hey, Jesus.
The economic.
Quite ridiculous.
Okay, I can totally understand. But then you look at the Netherlands.
Yeah.
We actually haven't had a lockdown here. We haven't.
Really?
No, we haven't. We've had what you call a mild shut-off. because people were going about their normal things. The only thing is that certain offices, because of the nature of how their offices were, they couldn't go in because
Yeah.
they didn't have the under half meter kind of thing between them.
Okay.
People
And
are
that's-
advised to work from home.
Exactly.
Like
People
that.
were advised to work at home.
Yeah.
And for the rest, especially in this community, people were walking around. People still do anything and everything they're supposed to do. The only thing is they abide by the social distancing kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we actually haven't had, a lockdown. So I
There's
can
no real
understand
lockdown here, yeah.
exactly. I can understand why the government is also not keen on giving people money or saying this month nobody should pay their rent and what have you. But the sad part of all of this is that we have young men and women who are renting rooms here and there. Their jobs have been closed because they are working in the HoReCa, the
Yeah.
hotel and
Yeah.
restaurant industries.
Hairdressers.
Exactly.
Kappas.
Exactly. And these people are not getting income anymore. And the sad thing is that they still have to pay their rent.
Yes, definitely.
And these are some of the things that I find a bit sad and unfortunate, that nobody or no institution is reaching out to help these people out so that they can also meet some of these obligations that they have on a
Yeah.
monthly basis. So that is a sector that I think if we toot the horn a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe the various gementes or maybe even the government at that level will try and start doing. I called the Stadthouse, I got information that they have a Bali set aside for people who have their own businesses and things, and they will be supported.
Yeah, okay.
But even though that is a good thing,
Yeah.
I am looking at the ones that are not spoken for. In other words, someone who's working,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of undocumented people
Undocumented, yeah,
who are
it's
also
true.
working
Yeah.
and contributing to the economy. And in situations like this, they are also lost out there because
Exactly.
they don't know and have anything. And I think we should talk about that to see what we can do to help them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In that aspect, all of us know we are living in a unique country, regarding other countries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I listened to the announcement of sector of Exchequer in UK at the onset of at the height of the seriousness of this problem. How they brought, I think, 200 million or billion pounds
Right.
to take care of private business owners who are affected by this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
If you're affected by it, you don't pay. If you are hiring a house, you don't pay 3 months hue.
Right.
If you are an owner of a house,
Right.
they'll make it a way that maybe they pay 3 months mortgage for you.
For you,
and
correct.
things like
Yeah.
that. That's
Okay.
very, very robust
Yeah.
welfare package.
Yeah.
For the whole population.
Right.
But we live in Netherlands, and the country goes with some of its uniqueness, especially in the area of if you lose your job, you can always apply for unemployment benefit and stuff like that. Only
Yeah.
God knows how they are going to calculate
The
what
money.
the private business owners should get
Yeah.
in terms of
Right.
being unemployed,
Right.
forcefully unemployed.
Right.
Because you forced me to close my
My shop.
my restaurant,
Yeah.
forced me to close my hairdressing salon,
Yeah.
and not out of my. You forced me to do
Exactly.
that. Okay, now you said if I'm going to get money, it's gonna be calculated later. But
Right.
I have to live at the moment.
Correct.
I have to pay my rent.
Correct.
I have to feed my children. I have to do all kinds of things.
Correct.
And in this country, bills doesn't wait.
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah.
the only thing I had in radio is that they were advised not to be so pushful in terms of
Collecting.
collecting money.
Okay.
But that doesn't still, put food on the table of all these
That's
people who
true.
have lost their
That's
jobs.
true. That's
so
true.
I think it is something that that has to be communicated so
Right.
that the authorities have to really,
Right.
be more benevolent.
I agree, totally agree, and more so for our communities. I think it's also fair for people in our community to know that there are points within the community that if you need help, you can go to.
Yeah.
For example, and the Stadsdale Southeast also has a locket to handle some of these things. So those that don't know, maybe if you're listening now and you're here, share that information that if you need help, you can go. In cases of people who need food and things like this, there are facilities out there that you can go and get food.
Good one.
And if you have a neighbor that needs help, reach out and also help that neighbor if you can, And if you can't, and you can just ask, can I go and get it for you? I mean, we are each other's keeper.
But how long is it gonna last? How long?
We are all
will this-
hoping that this will not last for long.
Well, those of you who have been watching us through the Facebook, Mr. Lamte, Ngo, Francisca, thank you so much for joining us. I said the guy has to help people because other countries are doing so. Okay, it's a Nigerian, and that's what she's thinking, that we have to tell our government to help people
Right.
because
Right.
others are doing so.
Mm.
All right. Okay. So, but for me, even before we bring this to a close, I really don't know where we are. I really don't know how long this is going to be. How long people are going to experience this lockdown or whatever.
I think
You see?
I think the lockdown would
How
end
long?
because certain economies are opening up as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
What will not go away
Mhm.
is the social distancing.
Okay.
And I think the social distancing will not go away until maybe 2021.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Because I was
See
speaking to a few people yesterday and I heard that they've been authorized to maintain social distancing until September of 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That is over a year.
Yeah.
So our behaviors are going to be shaped in a way that, I mean, I'm walking into Albert Heijn and I see a long queue with a 1.5 meter.
Yeah.
I don't want to stand in a queue to go into a supermarket. So I'm not going. But that is me.
Yeah.
I would rather wait early in the morning. I'll go in there and do what I have to do,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then I'm out of there.
That's an
Or
alternative.
late in the evening, then I go and do what I have to do. But during the day, when everybody's going about and things, there's this queue that comes all the way out from every shop and thing.
Yeah, it's true.
It's nice to see that people are obeying, but it's a bit frustrating.
Yeah. One more thing I want us to, bring to the attention of viewers, the authorities, and whoever is listening. The level of the punitive measures against social distancing in Netherlands. I think there has been a lot of complaint about that.
Oh.
Thousands of people have gotten ticket of over 400 euros because they don't keep to the social distancing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a matter of fact, police go all over the place. If they see you, close to somebody next to you, in less than 1.5 meters, they come straight away. They give you boot of 400 and something euros.
Oh, I didn't know they've been
which is
controlling
quite
that.
a whole lot. A whole lot.
But in Southeast, you have to understand that the migrant community
Yeah.
are not per se obeying this.
Exactly, because it is so
exactly.
awful. You will be
Yeah.
in a lift and somebody is coming in. I mean,
Yeah.
the lift is already too
It's
small.
already too small.
And
Exactly.
somebody is coming in with 2 or 3 children again.
Yeah,
Eh?
I know.
I said, why can't we keep the social distance?
You-
They're
you-
looking at you.
You can't, because what you're telling
Oh.
the person is that, wait, let me go up. When the lift come back, then you come in.
Of course.
That's what you're saying. But then it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the sense that for example, if I need to pee, I mean, I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
I need to get to my home to pee. You want me to pee in the lift?
Oh.
Yeah,
No, I'm just giving an example so you see
Yeah.
why
So
those
it's a
things, some of
difficult
these things don't
situation.
work.
It's a
Exactly.
difficult situation.
So let's
So-
all just understand that we are in times that is a bit challenging for everybody.
Yes, it is.
The authorities are giving us certain guidelines. Let's just abide by these guidelines. But in abiding by these guidelines, also use your own critical thinking and do what is right for you. Do what is right for you. I think that's where my cry is coming from. Don't just do right just because you're being told to.
But let me ask you my last question. So, to your own point of view, this COVID-19, is it really killing the way we are seeing it?
COVID-19.
Is that what is killing people this way?
COVID-19 is killing people.
This
yes.
way.
No, hold on. COVID-19 is killing people. Yes. If you ask my personal opinion, the huge numbers they are throwing out there, me, I don't buy it. But that is me. Okay. But it is killing people. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is.
And because it's killing people, we cannot lose our focus, on the pandemic itself.
Right.
So in the sense that if there's anything personally you know you have to do,
Yeah.
because nothing is larger than life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Social distancing may last for 5 years or whatever, but if it is someone who is alive that can observe the social distancing,
Yes.
Correct.
so nothing is larger than life. So personally, unfortunately, I'm not from I don't have a medical background, but I've come to know 1 or 2 things about the history of viruses and so
Right.
regarding human immune system.
Yeah.
So personally, I have taken it upon myself to always boost my immune system.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Even if the virus comes in,
Yeah. He has the army
my
to
body,
fight it.
because
Yeah.
the science also tell us that a lot of people are walking around with virus.
Yeah.
But because of the strength of the immune system, it
Yeah.
doesn't manifest.
Correct.
So if that is going to help people,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to really be knocked up by the virus, by boosting their immune system and stuff like that,
Yeah.
let us do that
Yeah.
while we keep social distancing.
I
rules
totally
and
agree
stuff
with
like
you. I totally agree with you on that. I think
How are you doing that?
that. I take 1,000 mg
MG.
of vitamin C on
Okay.
daily basis, and I try to adopt the locally
Try to get it
produced
from
things
food,
like-
yeah.
I can get it from food.
Food,
I
right.
have the tablet at
Right.
home. I take it every morning.
Okay.
I also resort to ginger and there is a number of spices we
Okay.
African use to make up
Yeah.
soup and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I try to take it, me and members of the family as much as possible.
Right.
So
I think
Just,
that is a good thing. I mean,
Yeah,
like I said from the beginning, it has made us aware that if someone is sneezing, I don't have to walk into the person's sneeze. If someone is coughing, I don't need to walk into the person's
Yeah.
coughing. These are things that if we abide by it, and then like you rightfully said, we put in things that can boost up our immune system. That's also a plus. So I think he said it all. So
Well, that has
Yeah.
been it, and I think we are bringing it to a close. We hope we have dealt
Yes.
a little bit with this topic.
we have.
I think
And those of
many-
you watching
many-
out
many
there,
things are still going
if
to
you
come
think
out.
I'm too skeptical on this thing, I love the fact that you think that. I just want you to know. But bring out the dialogue. Let's dialogue this, and we can find solutions. Yeah, we can.
while we wait the day the government will come out and say, yeah, we have discovered the origin of the virus
Yes.
and what is responsible for it, so that
Yeah.
at least the minds of people will come at ease and say, okay, this is what is happening.
I don't think that would happen, but I mean, it's good to look out for it. But I don't think it will happen.
Well, that is it, and we hope that next time you'll be more open, and then while we do our research, and then we come again
Yeah.
to tell our findings.
That's good.
Yeah, because for me, I'm not in support that America is wearing China to let them, know the origin of this, and China is decamping. I don't think I will buy it, because if China will do something like this, the whole world can ostracize China. They can cut them off and then send them away from Africa, because they are busy now looking for a way to recolonize Africa.
But you see, the world
So,
is very dependent
we
on
don't-
China now.
If they cannot, if
That's
they
a fact.
cannot tolerate the black people,
We can't do away with China.
We can.
We cannot.
I said we can.
We cannot.
We can.
Nobody's indispensable.
What are you talking about?
You think
here?
so?
We can.
Even the face mask that the Western world is
can.
depending on, they're ordering it from China.
if every-
America is even
if
ordering
the
the face
world-
masks and ventilators from China.
If you want
Think about it.
to bring China to its knees, it can be done within 6
What are you
months.
talking
You think
about?
so?
Have you not seen?
I would love
have
to
you not
see
seen because of this
I would love to see
COVID-19? Many Africans chaps are developing also these ventilators and all of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
good.
I mean, if we
Human
pump,
beings are creative all
in
over the
money
world.
in
Yeah,
that
we are.
side,
That
if we
much I
pump in
know.
money in that side, you will see.
Yeah. We
Ah,
just
what
go
are you
to
talking
China
about?
because of
Go to
the labor
beneficial
because of
mask.
cheap labor there.
Go to
I
our-
agree.
Yeah,
I
if we
agree.
cut off
I
China,
agree.
China will go on its knees.
I think we're too dependent on China.
Even go to about this facial mask. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you
Very
see how,
jelly, yeah, straight away.
please, we have people to do it. It's just that we've been so calm and allowing this Chinese people to
I hear you.
to be roaming around.
Fried rice.
We're gonna do it. Well, that has been the whole discussion, and thank you, gentlemen, for giving your input in this whole topic, and we hope to discuss more and more
Okay.
on issues.
Well, thanks for having
So
us.
thank you
Yeah.
for coming, and those who have watched us by way of Facebook, we also thank you for watching, and be with us by this time next week. God richly bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.